The world cannot go on this way. Overpopulation is killing the earth, and it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse because nobody is doing anything about it. Quotas need to be put on how many kids a couple can have each year, because we are killing the earth. And this pandemic, this current pandemic with the COVID-19 virus, is natural selection being fulfilled, and this is nature trying to tell us that we need to do something now. And COVID has been proven to be mainly killing the elderly and people with underlying health issues. And this is the very definition of natural selection being fulfilled. And it's killing off mainly the weaker people and leaving the strong, because there has to be a balance. There has to be. There's no other way. Everything requires balance, or it will all fall apart. And overpopulation has been a serious issue for a long time. The earth is severely overpopulated. And this has brought us to the virus concept. Now, what the virus concept is that humans have become more harmful than helpful to the earth. And with viruses like COVID, if they're not treated, they will eventually kill the host. We're going to kill the earth if we don't do something now. And 3 major ways, and this is in order that I'm going to address them in the speech, that we are killing the earth. And I got them from 3 credible sources, and they are an APA citation. Number 1, global warming. Number 2, overconsumption of Earth's resources. And number 3, last but not least, deforestation. And this right here is my speech, my speaking outline that I'll be referencing to for the remainder of the speech. Now, that brings us to number 1, global warming. Now, with global warming, humans, through factories, through the burning of fossil fuels, and many other things, are releasing an enormous amount of carbon dioxide, otherwise known as CO2, into the atmosphere. Now, CO2 is necessary for the earth to function, because trees, through photosynthesis, they take carbon dioxide out of the atmosphere and they release oxygen back into the atmosphere for us to breathe and for us to live and function. And it's a part of the cycle, the necessary cycle for life to function on Earth. But if too much carbon dioxide gets into the atmosphere and gets into the Earth, and it's not taken out, it gets trapped in the atmosphere. And what this does is, this causes temperatures to rise, and this leads to climate change, and this leads to the destruction of habitats. And with the destruction of habitats, species are lost, things die, ecosystems are torn apart, entire biomes could be affected and have been affected by this. And glaciers are melting, and they are projected that when they melt all the way, entire countries will be flooded and thousands of human lives will be lost. We got to do something now, because if we get to that point, at that point it's too late for us to do anything. And that will lead to even more overcrowding, even more overpopulation, and we need to do something about it now so that we don't get to that point where we can at least slow the process. Now, that takes us to our second thing. Overconsumption of Earth's resources. Now, humans, it has been scientifically proven that humans are over-consuming Earth's resources, and not exactly on purpose, but it's because Earth has reached its carrying capacity of humans. We are overpopulated. There's too many for the Earth to sustain, and other things not be affected negatively by our population, because there's an imbalance. And this has led to famine, poverty in continent Africa. Africa, for example, is extreme poverty in these third world countries, and it's going to get to the United States pretty soon if we don't do something now, and it needs to be addressed right now. Now, that takes us to our third point, our last and final point in the speech. Deforestation. Now, with deforestation, humans cut down forests and different things for many different reasons, for stores, to build homes, and to build, things as crazy as amusement parks. They're destroying all these habitats and everything else just for entertainment, something that's not even a need for us. We're selfish. We're being selfish, and we're not replanting trees. And trees aren't an option, people. Just like I covered earlier in the speech with global warming, through photosynthesis, trees release oxygen back into the atmosphere for us to breathe. If we don't have oxygen, we cannot breathe. Trees are not an option. We have to make room for them. And if we don't, we're going to die. We're going to be crowded. This isn't an option. I cannot make that more clear. You can't be. We've reached a point to where we can't be nice about it anymore, and we have to do something now. Now, I've covered 3 major things today in order. Number 1, global warming, climate change. Number 2, overconsumption of Earth's resources. There's not enough to go around. We can't beat around the bush. It's going to be in the U.S. soon if we don't do something now. And number 3, last but not least, deforestation. We have to make room. And to make room, we have to slow the spread. We have become the virus. And people, I know this sounds terrible. I know it sounds terrible, but it doesn't have to be. Because we can change the course for the future human generations. We have to stop now. Change the course. Make America great again. Make the world great again. Thank you. Have a great day.